Yay, it did. Lesson 115, graphing linear inequalities. All right, so write down y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 1. So the inequalities that we did before were all on a number line because we just had one variable. Like we just had x, okay? And sometimes we ended up with an and or an or graph or like a one-sided arrow graph. But now I have an xy axis because I have two variables here. So this is just graphing a line and shading, okay? So right here, 1 is my y-intercept still, right? So this number that is not next to x is the y-intercept. So we're going to put that on the y-axis. All right, and then the number in front of x is the slope. And hopefully you guys remember the top number goes up or down, and the bottom number goes left or right, okay? Positive, positive. So we're going to start at 1 and go up 1 because it's positive, and right 2 because it's positive, and up 1, right 2. Okay, this is the same thing as negative, negative, like that's still a positive. So you can go down 1, left 2, down 1, left 2. All right. Now, you are either going to do a solid or a dotted line, or like a dashed line. Let's see if I can draw one of these, okay? So your line is either going to be solid or dotted. The solid lines are going to be the less than or equal to's or the greater than or equal to's. So if you have this line underneath the inequality sign, then you do a solid line. All right, if you have a less than or a greater than sign with no line underneath, okay, then you do a dashed line. This means I'm not including the line. This means I could be equal to the line. So I do solid if I could be equal to the line. So this one has the line underneath, so we are going to do a solid line. All right, so you're gonna, oops. See if I can get a solid line in here. Can't really see that. There we go. All right. Solid line, go all the way across your grid when you do these on your homework. Okay, put arrows, it goes forever. And then we're going to read, this says greater than or equal to. So do you guys think that greater than or equal to means shade above or below the line? Yes. Greater than means shade above. All right. So I'm going to shade above the line. Now, you could also test a point. Some teachers like when you test a point. I personally just like to shade above or below, okay? However, you could test a point and see if it's in the solution region. So maybe a good point to test would be this one right here. This point is at 0, 2. And so I would plug 0 in for x. Let's erase all this craziness. And we're just going to see if we get a true or false statement, okay? So I would plug in 0 for x and 2 for y. And this is usually really quick if you do this, okay? So 2 is greater than or equal to, anything times 0 goes away, 1. That is true. 2 is bigger than 1. That means you're shading where that point is. It's in the solution region, okay? All right, let's try this one. Go ahead and write this down. Y is less than 3x minus 1. So everyone, what is the y-intercept? It is -1. So we'll put a point at -1 on the y-axis. And everyone, what is the slope? 3/1. Both are positive, so we're going to start here, go up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1. Okay, you could also go down 3, left 1. Solid or dashed line, you guys? Yep. So we don't have the line underneath the inequality, so we are not including the line. This means we do a dashed, or sometimes people say dotted, I don't know. All right, dashed line. So you're going to go to your pencil and do a dashed line, okay? So we'll dash that on through, okay? And put your arrows on there. All right, and this sign says what? Good. This says less than. It makes an L, which means we shade below. You guys are like, which way is below? What do you guys think? Is this below or is this below? I agree with you. This is below the line. If you are not sure, an easy point to test is 0, 0. Okay? Let's say you plug in 0, 0. This would tell you that 0 is less than -1. Is that true? No, which means that this is not a solution. So you should not be shading here. You should be shading below the line, which is here. Okay? Okay. What if you have these kinds of graphy graphs, all right? X is less than -2. Which way do X graphs go? Do they go vertical or horizontal? Vertical, okay? X graphs cut through the x-axis at -2. So I'm going to be doing my line here. However, is it solid or dotted? Yeah. So we've got our dashed line here that we're going to put through -2 on the x-axis. Now, this one says less than. However, this one you definitely cannot do above or below. But you can just think about what would be less than -2 on the x-axis, right? So do you think less than is over here or here? 1 or 2? Agreed. Okay, less than would be less than -2 on the x-axis. Here's -2, -3. If you're not sure, plug in the point 0, 0. If I plug in 0, 0, I only really plug 0 in. 0 is less than -2. Is that true? No, it is not true. So you should not be shading that spot. Okay. All right. Now let's try y graph. So y graphs cut through the y-axis, this time at 1. Solid or dotted line? Good. We have the line underneath, so it's solid. And we definitely can do above or below. Do we shade above or below? That is a greater than sign, so you're going to shade above the line. Okay? Do you guys need that? Everybody good? Okay. Let's try whiteboards.